Hey everyone, welcome to my preview of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Alright, it hasn't even been 2 weeks since the end of WandaVision, and we're already getting the next installment in the Disney Plus MCU television series. And I'm really excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The fact was that when they first announced all of the new shows, I think that this was the one I was least excited about to begin with. I was definitely pumped for WandaVision since I, pretty much expected that it was going to follow along with the Vision comics from a few years ago, and I was super pumped for that. And Loki, I'm really excited for that. And then of course the Hawkeye series. I'm a big fan of the Matt Fraction Hawkeye comics, and I'm hoping that that's kind of what we should expect from that. I'm also a big fan of Kate Bishop, so super stoked for the Hawkeye series. And so for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I just wasn't as thrilled. Thrilled isn't the right word. I just wasn't as excited about this one as the others. And that's not to say that I don't think it's going to be good. And now, after seeing WandaVision, I am super excited for this, and seeing the trailers and seeing the production value that they're putting into this series. I think it's going to be fantastic. And so before I get into my predictions, I first want to highlight what I am predicting will not be in the series. I think after WandaVision, we can safely say that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is not going to have any references to the Fantastic Four or to the X-Men or probably to the multiverse, maybe an Easter egg here or there, or any huge, Luke Skywalker level cameos. I think we can safely rule that out, although, we could be pleasantly surprised. Now that we've seen WandaVision, I think that we have a much better idea of what we should be expecting, which is a self-contained series focused on the main characters, but which fits within the larger MCU much more directly than the Marvel shows on Netflix or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, while in the same universe and would occasionally make a reference to the events, things like that, it was never, very explicit. And now Marvel is able to tie in directly into the MCU, and while that is really cool, it also means that we could be expecting anything, and I think we've learned that we can't expect anything, or we shouldn't expect anything, because if we get our hopes too high for what might be happening in these shows, we're going to be disappointed. They're going to focus on the characters, and they're going to tie into the movies that came before and probably directly into the movies that come after, but they're not going to be crossing over with all of these different characters, and we're not going to have Steve Rogers popping into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It just, that's not what they're trying to do with these series. And I think now that we know that, we will be able to enjoy it much more, because we won't get our expectations too high. And the fact of the matter is, WandaVision was a really awesome show, and if we didn't build up all these expectations for the X-Men and for Mephisto and for all of the multiverse stuff and what might happen, and just focus on what was happening, we would have enjoyed it more. And I enjoyed it quite a lot. And so that's all to say that I think we're much better prepared now for this second go round. What I think we should expect is just a really kick-ass hour-long action show. It's sadly only 6 episodes, but I think those 6 episodes are going to pack in a lot of really cool stuff based on what we saw in the trailers so far, and I'm here for it. As someone that grew up with, hour-long action shows that were, kind of the villain of the week, I think now we can expect something that's really cool like that, but with a production value that matches Hollywood movies, with all of the power of Disney behind it, and all the ability to use CGI and actual, like, really Hollywood style action sequences. It's just going to be amazing. I certainly think that we're going to compare them very favorably to the Marvel Netflix shows like Daredevil and The Punisher, which were lauded, rightfully so, for their really awesome stunts and action sequences, and the oneers and all of the stuff that they were able to do on not a Disney level budget. That was still pretty impressive. Just think about it now. I think it's going to be taking it to another level, and so that's what I'm expecting, is just some really awesome action stuff within the MCU with characters that we've already grown to be attached to, with hopefully a few new characters thrown in. Speaking of cameos, I think originally this show was meant to come out after the Black Widow movie, and so I expect, and I think there may have been rumors about it, that there was going to be characters from the Black Widow movie that end up showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that was going to be kind of how they tie in together with the MCU. I'm wondering if those plans have been scrapped. I just saw online that Florence Pugh is rumored to have a tie-in or an appearance in the new Hawkeye series. And it may be that because production happened after the Black Widow got pushed back and they didn't know when it was going to come out, and probably at some point they realized, oh, this show is going to come out before Black Widow. I'm wondering if they're not going to bring in those characters into this movie before they've been introduced. I expect that's probably what's going to happen. We're not going to have that tie-in. So that may leave us with no direct tie-in outside of the characters that we already know about, which I'm cool with. Maybe we'll get a Nick Fury sighting, or a Coulson, an Agent Coulson, that would be nice. But other than some Shield agents, I'm not expecting any major superheroes showing up from the MCU. And finally, I just hope that the rumors or the information I saw online about the episode length is true. They're supposed to be an hour long each, 6 hours of content. I hope that's the case, because having half-hour episodes of a show that was so good, that was the hardest part with WandaVision, was just how quickly they ended. And so it'll be nice that these are an hour long, and I hope that this wasn't another one of those rumors that turns out to be false, because I don't think I could take half-hour action episodes of Hawkeye, or of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But I do think that these will be an hour long, and I just am super psyched, and I can't wait for Friday. So that's my preview. If you get to watch this before you see the episode, I'm probably, by the time this goes up, there isn't going to be much time. Feel free to share your predictions as well, and come back next week and we'll talk about episode 1. Thanks for tuning in, and if you like the review, please like and subscribe to my channel. Hopefully see you next time.